explain breadth first search algorithm using the following problem, which is called number of islands. These problems came from LeetCode, and now we'll try to solve this problem using BFS. So according to the problem description, we have matrix n by m, where each cell either could be 1 or it could be 0. So let's pretend that 1 is land and 0 is water. So from this matrix, we have to find the number of islands. So let's look to this example. So here we have 3 islands. The first island is this one, second island is this one, and third island is this one. So the straightforward algorithm which uses BFS looks like following. So we have to run through all elements of our matrix. So we do 2 for loops, the first one, and second one, and we loop to each cell. If that cell is land, then we have to run BFS and we have to increment our counter. But here we'll also be using used matrix. Initially, all the elements of that matrix is equal to false. And here also we have to add that condition. So it should be used at ij should be false. If it's not used yet, only in such case we have to run BFS. So when we run BFS, we have to look to the 4 neighbors. So let's say initially we are here, we have to look to the 4 neighbors. So let's pretend like we have some central element here. So 4 neighbors, it could be upper one, right side, bottom one, and left side. So in terms of directions, we can represent it as in the following way. So if we have I and j here, for example, so in terms of x direction, the left one will be -1, and in terms of y direction, it will not change. It will be same as our current indexes. If we go up, it will be 0, -1. If we go to the right, it will be 1, 0. If we go to the bottom one, it will be 0 and 1. So it means in terms of x, we will not change anything, but in terms of y, we have to go 1 more to the down. So these all directions could be represented as an array of 4 numbers. So in terms of x direction, we have such kind of changes, and in terms of y, we have such kind of changes in directions. So we have to use these 4 number of array once we want to look to the neighbors. So let's say initially our BFS, we have a queue and we have to insert to the queue our element. So we have to push, let's say, y and x. Then while our queue is not empty, we have to take the frontal element and we have to look to the 4 neighbors. So we run for a loop from 0 to 4, and we have to look if y plus change in y direction is in border, if x plus change in x direction is in border. Also, if it is y plus dx and the x plus dx is equal to length, and if it's not used yet, so you have to add here more conditions. Then we have to push that coordinate to our queue, and we have to say that that coordinate will be used. And after that, at the end, we have to pop the element from the queue. We have to delete the frontal element from the queue. So let's look to this example. So initially, we came to here, it's not used. We set it as a used, and we start calling BFS. So we have to look to the neighbors. Here we have 2 neighbors, which is in border, which is right side, and which is in bottom one, in the downside. So we set as true, and in the queue right now we don't have this element. In the queue we have this element and that element. So we start calling again from the first element of our queue. We have to look to the borders. This one is, we don't have anything here, which is water. But here we have length. So have to set it as again true, used. So we don't have this element in the queue. We have to look to the next element. Here, this is already used, and here we don't have anything. We have a water, so it means we don't do nothing, and we delete this element from the queue. Then here we have just one length, and if we look to the left side, it's already used. If we look to the upside, it's already used. In the right side, we don't have anything. We have a water. In downside, we also have a water. So it means we delete this from the queue. So we found one island here. So we start again looking to the other cells. So we have done with this one. So again, we found some length here, but if we look to the all neighbors, we don't have any length. So it means we found another island, and we set it again as a true, used. And we start again looking to the other cells for the length, and we found here. So we look to the neighbors. Here we don't have any water like length. Here also we don't have any length, and we have to look to the right. We found some length, so it will be true, and we delete this element from the queue. And in the queue right now we have only one element. And if we look to the right side, left side, it's already used, and the upper side there is no length, so it means we set it as used also, and we found another length. So total we have here one length, another set islands. So the answer will be 3.